Hey friends, and welcome to my garden here in Lawrence, South Carolina, Zone 8A. Here at Wild Hearts Homestead, I have three main growing spaces. My front garden, which is about 3,500 square feet, it is a pretty big space, and I actually haven't utilized all of it. This year, I'm using more of it than I ever have before. Oh look, there's a little bunny out here. Don't eat my stuff, sir. And then I have my herb and tea garden in the front here. This has things like for cooking or for tea making, all kinds of things in here. And then we also have some flowers in here just for looking pretty. And then our final main growing space is this back garden. This is about 200 square feet back here. It's the middle of May and things are really starting to pop in the garden, but I still have a lot of stuff that still needs to get done on my to-do list. But today I'm going to show you everything that's going on in the garden in May in Lawrence, South Carolina. You'll notice as we're going along this evening that my grass is extremely high in the background. We had no rain for quite a while, and then we had tons of rain that has not stopped. Big thunderstorms coming through, power outages. So the grass is getting really high. The sheep are enjoying it, but it's a little bit out of control. To give you an idea of just how much rain we've gotten, this bucket was empty before all the rain started, and now there is 5 inches of water in this bucket. So what do you guys want to look at first? We were actually harvesting snow peas today. That is our first big thing that we're harvesting, I guess. We've harvested like little things here and there, but our first big harvest of snow peas today. So out here in my big garden, I still have some spots that are covered up, some spots that are not covered up that need to be taken care of. On our row here, this is our snow peas. We started these out here in March, maybe April, and they just seriously took off with the rain. They were down here, and with all this rain, they just shot off. They are doing amazing. I think this weekend I'm gonna try to pull some of this tarp back, lay down some compost, and then plant our beans into it. I have not planted any beans at all yet. I need to get my pole beans, my bush beans, and my black beans all in the ground. So we have a mixture of things on this end of the garden. Part of my struggle this year is that I really didn't plan where I wanted to put stuff, and I've just been kind of putting stuff in where I feel like it in whatever section I'm working in. So we've got a bunch of cabbages on this side over here, and we've got some dill. Now these are really small. I don't know if it's because the soil on the edge of the garden isn't as good as the soil on the inside of the garden, or if it's because I planted these ones earlier. They were out here first, so they got more of the exposure to the cold. What does it smell like? Does it smell like pickles? Is it stinky? So some of our dill is going to flower. We've been harvesting dill and putting it in the dehydrator to use to make pickles this year. And then in a couple spots out here where I had some cabbages that did not survive the cold, we put some butternut squashes in here. We've got our chives over here. They are so pretty. And you'll notice like our peppers are looking pretty yellow. That is because we have had so much rain happening. The peppers really like it to be more dry and hot, and the water raining so much can kind of flush the nutrients out of the soil too. But some of our cauliflowers are tiny, some of them are doing well. Same with our cabbages. Some cabbages are big and gorgeous and looking great, and some of them are pretty tiny. They all received equal treatment. They all got the same amount of fish emulsion fertilizer. The only difference is the date they were put in the ground. He's out here picking little green cherry tomatoes. We really want them to be like red though. There's a lot on there. That looks really good. Yeah. These are our sweet potatoes in here. I have more sweet potatoes to get into here that are slips inside. That will probably get worked on this weekend as well. We put some whole, my friend came over, Miss Mariah came over, and we got some of our whole sweet potatoes put in the ground. So we're gonna wait for those to start growing up. There's one right there, you can kind of see a little bit of it. And then once they start popping up, then we will mulch around them. You need me to hold your tomatoes for you? Where's your basket? You want to use that basket? That's fine. On this end of our trellis, we have our cherry tomatoes. We have our red Mexico midget cherry tomatoes, and we also have our yellow champagne bubbles cherry tomatoes. We're going to keep working on getting all of this mulched, but they're doing pretty well. They're starting to fruit, and we should have cherry tomatoes pretty soon. One of the things I like to do when I am putting things in the ground is to separate them by putting different plants in between so that I can remember where the changeover takes place. Here we go from cherry tomatoes to the Market More 76 cucumbers, which are flowering. They're looking like we should have some tiny little cucumbers pretty soon. These are the ones that you're gonna slice and eat. And then we go into our Roma tomatoes. So the rest of these down here are Roma tomatoes, and then they continue on. And our gorgeous snow peas finishing out the row. They look so good, don't they? They're just doing a really good job this year. There's some more we missed this morning. They grow so fast. Let's see if I can get it with one hand. And there's a Pickles. Hello, Pickles. So we did have some beans out here that were just left over from this trellis here, that they had fallen down onto the ground, and we just poked them into the ground, and it looks like a few of them are starting to come up down here. So I guess you could say we started to plant some beans, but that's all that we've done. We just poked a couple in the ground, and that was it so far. I got this trellis up on Mother's Day. I didn't quite get it finished. It was just a tiny little bit too short to reach, so I'm gonna have to pull that pole out and put it back in. But we got the rest of our Henderson Pink Ponderosa tomatoes put in here, and our pickle cucumbers. So I did start more pickle cucumbers because I'm planning on I've had a lot of people ask for me to sell pickles this year because they really liked them from last year. So I'm planning on making a lot of pickles and selling them this year. But these tomatoes are a lot smaller. They were started later than the cherry tomatoes were, and they were in pots for longer. So they are not quite as big as the cherry tomatoes are. In this row, I've got a mixture of broccoli and cauliflowers. We've been getting little bits off of the broccoli. I haven't gotten anything big from our broccoli yet. I've gotten a couple of cauliflowers. I think that the cold crops just don't do as well here. We've had days that are already in the 80s. We've got some broccoli starting down in there and some over here. And we've got some cauliflowers starting too. So what I might do is come out and just tie these up so that the leaves are around it and it blanches. Like, they are technically self-blanching cauliflower, but I may just pull that over. But usually by the time that we are getting stuff, the bugs are so bad too that it's a battle between the weather and the bugs with the cold weather crops. And with all this rain, slugs are a problem. But not nearly as much of a problem as last year. Last year, the slugs were out of control. Our potatoes are doing fabulous. This section right here is from my friend Mariah. She gave me some extra seed potatoes that she had, and the rest of these ones and all of these ones down here are from potatoes from last year. So we just saved our potatoes that we dug up last year in the garden, saved them through the winter, and then planted them out here, and they are doing fabulous. It really bothers me that Bermuda grass is growing up through there so bad though. When I spent so much time getting all of this cardboard and mulched, that drives me a little bit bonkers. Our Brussels sprouts really haven't grown much. They look the same. I really don't think we're gonna get anything edible off of these. But it's still fun to try. Eventually, one of these years, I will figure out how to grow Brussels sprouts and actually get some stuff off of it. Along the edge over here, I put in more tomatoes. So I needed a lot of paste tomatoes because we make a lot of tomato products. We don't really eat a lot of tomatoes fresh, but we do a lot of sauces. We make ketchups and stuff like that as well, and salsa. So I needed a lot. So where this holy basil is, that separates my aromas from some more beef steaks over here, and the whole rest of this row is Roma tomatoes. Oh wow, look at your basket. What did you get in there? You got little green tomatoes, you got peas, you got dill. Yes. You want more tomatoes? Okay, well, I don't know if there's any more out there right now, but you're welcome to go look. There'll be more soon. Soon we'll be swimming in cherry tomatoes. I don't mind her pulling some green cherry tomatoes right now, because before we know it, we'll have more cherry tomatoes than we know what to do with. I always have extra cherry tomato plants. I don't know why I start so many. I always start way too many cherry tomatoes. Another holy basil in at the end of this tomato row. Just kind of dappling basils in between stuff. And my friend Mariah also helped get these squashes put in the ground. We got some more squashes and some basils in here. So they're just kind of in here willy-nilly. I didn't really mind. I didn't want them in any specific order. And I've got more started over here that are starting to sprout. So like every 2 weeks or so, I'm trying really hard this year to stay on the ball and get squashes started every 2 weeks. So we've got a little bit of stuff coming up in here. We've got some sunflowers, watermelons. It's just easier for me to start them in pots and then put them in the ground with a deep mulch than it is for me to try to plant them in the ground. So this method works better for me in my garden. You can see we've got a lot of basils. I've got some flowers started, the amaranths. I started zinnias back there, but they have not sprouted, so I'm probably gonna have to start those again. One of my friends at church was actually also having a really hard time getting her zinnias to sprout this year for some reason, so not sure what that's about. All right, so there's still a lot of space in this garden that has not been utilized yet. We still have to get our beans put in here. We still have lots of squashes to plant, all of our melons, honeydew, cantaloupe, watermelons, all of that still needs to get planted in this garden. But that's what's going on here for now. Let's go over now to our tea and herb garden. The biggest thing in this garden that has really taken off is the elderberry. If you remember, I chopped that thing really good because I didn't want it to be too tall that I couldn't reach it. Well, it's already really, really tall and it hasn't even started flowering yet. But we're gonna get a lot of really good elderberries. I love the shape of it. It looks really good. Like I said, this garden is mainly focused on herbs and tea. These are our tea plants over here. I am determined to actually make tea from our tea plants this year, like actual black tea. So we are going to get that figured out and get that done this year. And we've got some catnip down here, which you can also use for teas, but the cats really love it and enjoy it. And we've got more elderberry shoots coming up in there, if you can believe it. After all of those elderberries that I dug up, we have even more coming up. We've got our roses in here. We replanted sage. I think it got dried out last year. It just got really, really hot and dry, and I think that's what took it out. And back in here we have oregano going absolutely wild. We need to cut this and dry it. And we've got our fennel. The fennel back here is used for seed. We use this to make 5 spice seasoning. You can also use it for teas. It's good, but it does not create the bulbs for us. These plants only give us seed. We use the rose petals for tea. And we also have our echinacea plant over here, which we use for teas. And I am planning on digging up the roots this year and separating it and using some of the roots for tea. There's some more oregano. You did. So my daughter cut this back really good, like almost all the way to the ground. We put all of it in the dehydrator and look at it. They don't kid when they say it takes over. I actually was watching a video from a couple years ago from my garden. Maybe it was just even last year. And the size difference of the oregano and the elderberry and the echinacea was mind-blowing. I didn't realize how big it's gotten in just that short amount of time. But when you don't look at it, like, infrequently. When you see it every day, you just don't notice how big it gets. But when you look at it from like a year ago, you can really see the difference in the growth. So go back and look at a year ago this time, what the garden was looking like. It's kind of crazy. So we've also got rosemary. Yep, we got some growing in there. In these pots we have ginger, but I also replanted some spinach in here because our spinach in the back was going to seed. And that collards is all gone to seed, so if it self-seeds, awesome. If not, not too worried about it. We are not big collards eaters. On the other side, I had Caspian over here, so he ate a lot of my rose bush as compared to that rose bush. He ate a lot of it, but we also use the rose hips off of these for making teas. They're very good for female health. And we've got our yarrow in here. It did get a little bit trampled. It's starting to flower. We use these for teas, I believe for digestion. I'd have to look it back up again. I haven't actually made tea from it, but I have it here, and we hopefully will actually use it this year. And then I've got this lemon verbena up there inside the avocado tree I got from a friend. It's great for teas too. I don't know if this avocado tree will ever produce. I take it inside for the winter and then bring it back out, but I really enjoy having it. I get really down in the wintertime when I can't be outside and there's no sunshine, so having the greenery in my room helps a lot. So I like to bring it inside. I have a lot of plants inside in the winter time that I get to enjoy, and then they come back out in the summer, and then my space inside clears up and I get to enjoy it not being so cluttered like it is in the winter time. This space has changed a little bit. We still have the butterfly bush in here. I need to trim it back. It's getting too heavy and it's bowing it down. I put our comfrey in here. I got comfrey from another friend. Make you some friends that have gardens. You'll get all kinds of stuff. Comfrey in here, and this is lamb's ear. This is used for salves. I don't know where your shovel is. Let's go find it. I even just love to just touch it because it's so soft and feels so nice. And then I moved our garlic chives back here, and I moved some walking onions over here too, which Caspian also enjoyed and ate, but they will be fine. They'll make more. It'll be fine. Hey you, I'm talking about you. Yeah, he's been moving around the yard eating it for me, but you would never even know, I don't think, that he's already been through all of this section because the grass is just growing so fast right now, but it's great for him to get moved around. That's Caspian. And get fresh grass, and then he also is fertilizing for us. Yeah, there's our cute little babies over there. They're getting so big. So Alright, big. So this garden I'm working on getting it mulched. We order pizzas for the kids where I work, so if there's leftovers I get to take it home, and I'm just kind of using it to mulch out here where I'm not planting any plants. Oh look, Ellie, there's some good strawberries over here, look. Ooh, yeah. You want to grab those strawberries and put them in your basket, or you can eat them? Okay. In here I've got my rutabagas, which they probably are about ready to pull up. I should probably check on those and pull them up soon. You need help picking strawberries? Okay, you're gonna hold the basket. Oh goodness, this looks so good. Can I eat this one? No.
Not eat it.
Why not? It looks so good.
This is so good.
So good. This one looks really good too. Oh, it looks so good. Okay. Our chickens have been getting loose and getting all of our strawberries. So we haven't really gotten very many from the garden this year. But, oh, watch where you're stepping, baby. There's plants in there. Right behind our rutabagas is my one awesome green cabbage that made it because I planted them too early this year and they got kind of zapped. And then over in here I have habaneras because I need to save seeds from them. So usually my back garden is where I save seeds, and I've got my cilantro in here so I can keep a close eye on it, and another holy basil over there. But the habaneras, they usually take a while and then all of a sudden they just take off. So it's not surprising that they're this small. Now my blue shelling peas are not doing so great back here. I don't know if it's because the chickens got in here and messed with them. They are producing, so they are getting some, but a lot of them have died. Like, I had them planted all the way along here, and I don't know if it could have been a combination of it being so dry and the chickens getting in here, but look how pretty this is. Isn't that gorgeous? I am so excited about these. So when these get bigger, we'll start picking these, but not quite yet. Oh, you're eating the strawberries? Is it good? Is it yummy? Oh, I can have this one? This is the one I can have? Oh, okay, thanks. So I haven't planted this section out yet. I honestly haven't decided what I'm going to put back there. I don't know yet. That's part of my problem this year is I get paralyzed because I don't know what I want to do. So I've got some volunteer marigolds popping up. All of the bee balm in here is voluntary. I didn't plant any of that. It just came from last year. And then in here we planted carrots and spinach. Our spinach has gone to seed. We had some days where it was like hot and dry and it just didn't survive the hot and dry. The carrots are looking pretty good, and then I planted corn back here just a couple of days ago. Since we've been having such good rain, I just put it in there. And you know what, maybe I'll put some more corn in here because the soil back here is better, and the corn needs a lot more from the soil than other stuff does. Look how pretty this is. Love it. It's so pretty. I don't know if we have any more. We can, oops, you can check out there where those strawberries are. Go look where those strawberries are. So tomato wise back here, I planted, I had only 3 Abe Lincolns, so I put them back here so I can save seeds from those. And the peas over here are doing better, I think because they were mulched. And the other peas around the other sides were not mulched, but these ones are doing better. But even if I don't get a ton from them, if I can save seed from them enough that I can plant even more next year, I'll be happy with that because I just don't want to have to buy them. Garlic is all looking really good. It might get pulled end of this month, beginning of next month or so. It's looking really good. We could probably pull it now if we wanted to, but I'm going to wait for it to kind of die back a little bit, hopefully, before we pull it so it has the chance to get as big as possible. Those are my 3 main gardening spaces. I do also have fruit trees. We are getting some pears and some apples. We'll have to wait and see how the apples do. It'll be our first year getting apples. But they have like black spots on the end of them, so I'm not quite sure that they were pollinated correctly or if there's something else going on. We'll have to wait and see. But I can show you those really quick. We also have back there our pecan tree. Pecans, I believe, are like every other year, so we really didn't get any pecans last year, so we should get a good load of pecans this year. So I have not sprayed my fruit trees ever, if you're supposed to. I haven't done it. I have gotten pears successfully. This is going to be my first year getting apples if they go all the way to being edible. But here is our pear tree. They did not get zapped by the frost this year, thankfully. We do have some pears. No, don't pull them off, please. We had 1 pear on our tree last year and she pulled it off. I know I saw more out here. Here's some more down here. They might look a little bit funky right now. Oh, that's a good looking one. Look at this one. That one is, that's a good looking one. So we have, some of them look kind of funky, but like that one looks real weird. But there are pears on this poor little crooked apple tree. I don't know what to do with this. It's just like not standing up straight. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But let me see if I can find, oh, here it is. So there's this little apple where the back, it's not like soft really, but it's black, so I don't know if it's gonna last. So we'll see. And then I thought there was a couple others on here, but I'm not seeing them right off. This apple tree, I don't see anything on there right now, but it was later in blooming than the first one, so it might just be behind. One more area that I have for planting that is just a hot mess right now, but we do have a few things going on in there. This space is just, it just gets taken over completely by Bermuda grass. and I just haven't been able to keep up with it. But we have some strawberries in here. The chickens have eaten all of the strawberries on these plants so far this year. I think I might have gotten one off of those ones. I tried putting cages around them and the chickens knocked the cages off, but there are strawberries in there that are good, and we might be able to get some off of there. One thing that I saw recently was that the little mesh bags that you get jewelry in or things like that, you can put them around the strawberries and then slugs won't get it and chickens won't get it. We have this really weird strawberry plant over here. I think this is one I started from seed, and they're very tasty. They're really good, but they are the weirdest little shape. And they're so tiny. They still taste good. They have a lot of seeds, but they're good. Yeah, those are strawberries. You can pick those. I can help you pick it in just a minute, okay? And I moved our blueberry plants over here. Oh yeah, I moved our grape plants over there too. I forgot about that. But our blueberries are looking really good. I think moving them closer to the house was the trick, so that when the cold weather comes, they don't get as zapped. But look at all this fruit on there. Look at, I'm so excited. We're gonna get blueberries this year. And I have one more blueberry plant down here. The azaleas also did not get pruned this year, and they really need to. Lots of fruit on this one too. So super excited about blueberries this year. If I have rogue chickens going around stealing my blueberries, my plan is to take laundry baskets and put them over so they can still get sunlight and air, but then the chickens can't get my blueberries. I'll show you one more thing really quick. My son is in 4-H, and I signed him up for the garden project. I just asked them if we could do it on a much smaller scale for him, since developmentally he is around 12 to 18 months developmentally, even though he's 10 years old. So we got our packets. It was the cutest thing. They had like shovels and an apron and a log book and seeds, and they had these markers in there, and they gave him this pepper. So we got all of his beans, and he got zinnias planted in here. Hey, no thank you. No thank you. There's stuff growing in here, please. Thanks. But this is what his little raised bed looks like. It's just a rain barrel that was cut in half, and then I created a little stand for it so he can stand up here and put his hands in the dirt. He was so excited to get his hands in the dirt because getting down on the ground is difficult for him, but he can do this. So this is our little 4-H kid garden. So that is our garden tour for May in Lawrence, South Carolina. I would love to hear how your garden is doing. What's growing? Are you picking anything? How is the rain? Are you getting it like we are, or are you dry? It's so great to see you and to spend this time with you and to get to go see what's going on in the garden together. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.